what one side has brought out, and when you say people that you've known your whole life, that you start to read what they're posting on social media, start to read, the stuff they talk about. I mean, even family members.
Yeah.
And you're like, you felt this way this whole time.
Yeah. And some of this is, and some of that when I read it, I'm like, man, you drink beers
Yeah.
with people I know are
Yeah.
completely on the other side of this, that have completely different beliefs, do
Yep.
a lot of the stuff that you're kind of hating on. So now you're not even being, you're not even being an open sinner. You're just being a false saint. You're just
Welcome to the Banter. I'm Dave. That's Hobbsy. Hobbsy, if you haven't noticed, man, part of being a girl dad is doing crazy stuff like this for your daughters.
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You do. I mean, people don't understand it, but man, you do anything for them. I don't care how big Billy Badass you are, but sometimes you just when they look at you and say, "Hey," and she charged me like $1,500 for this.
Damn. Making that money. Hey, they need to paint.
I'm
They need a
telling you.
spot. They need to see what the colors look like, Dad. So
I'm telling you. Well,
that's
man,
funny.
woo.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do a show without talking. I have said all along that we will never get political on this channel. But things in this world today have become crazy. Crazy. That's the only word I can find for it. We have a attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump, not the current president. I don't know why that just irks me when people say president when he is, to me, not quite the president. Um, you know, that we have our current president, President Joe Biden, has kind of bowed out of the presidential race and has endorsed his VP, which, man, we live in a crazy, crazy world right now. I never thought in my lifetime that I would see anything like this. I pray for our nation. I pray for it to pull together some way, somehow. I think we are so divided in so many ways that it's absolute crazy. It's like you have one side calling people sheep, the other side calling people cult members, and then you have some of us in between us like, why don't both of you just chill the fuck out? Let's figure this out as a nation.
Right.
Because I tell you what, I'm not big on conspiracies, but I'm not saying that stuff's not a little fishy.
There's a lot going on. Sure.
I guess the saying is if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it must be chicken.
Yeah. Yep. That's fair. I um well, you know me pretty good. So we know that I'm not a fan of either of those gentlemen at all.
Mm-hmm.
And when people spew their bullshit, I don't want to call it anything else but that. I've never in my life seen so many people that what I remember of them, and when I have encountered them over the years, I had no idea that when half of them couldn't put together a full sentence, sober or
Uh-huh.
drunk, half of them couldn't spell sober or drunk.
Yep.
I had no idea that all of them had doctorates in political science
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and could tell you how the world was supposed to work.
It
And it's amazing to me how all of these people aren't sitting there in Washington right now just living it up at every one of the congressional hearings, the meetings, every closed door. You know, they're not right there holding President Biden's hand. They're not right
oh
there
yeah.
holding former President Trump's hand. They're not holding Kamala's hand and whoever else you want. Dude, if I'll tell you what, when you say divided, I am absolutely fucking terrified of
Yeah.
humanity as a whole right now. And I never, I've seen some stupid people say some stupid shit in my lifetime, but
Yep.
the amount of nonsense and hurting, unintelligent, not even rational bullshit coming at everybody right now, it's just it, when you look at it from probably your and my perspective, or and I know there's a lot of people like you and me with this too. If you're looking at this from you're just trying to live, man. You're just trying to make it for your kids. You're just trying to put some food on the table, and you're just trying to make a little money, and
Yeah.
enjoy what you can, while you
Yep.
can.
Yep.
The amount of shit going on right now, it's fucking. Pardon my French. It's just too much. Like
It is.
I feel like I don't know what the Civil War was like, or like when it was building up, or how people were. But luckily for us, we could still have it in schools, and
Yeah.
it wasn't frowned upon to learn about all of that. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, I some people that I have respected my whole life, that I've known them, or a lot of my life, some of the shit that comes out of them, I have to stop and remember that there's a bigger picture,
Yeah.
and there's more to life than just that.
Yep.
But I'll read some stuff, and they'll say shit, and I'm like, this can't be real.
I
And unfortunately, I think it is sometimes, and I'm just like, and that's on both sides. It's not, I'm
yeah.
not taking one or the
Yeah.
other. It's just, when I get the Facebook's a voice, and I get that people are getting heated and want to let it all out, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
also one of those people at the end of the day, there is nobody that reads your bullshit on Facebook other than your people that are on Facebook. You don't, you're most of the time you're not going viral. That ain't real. I get you want to get it out, but man, Trump don't hear you.
Yeah.
Biden don't hear you.
No.
Your stupid fucking t-shirts ain't getting you anywhere. That vote's not making any different. You know, perfect
That
example.
MAGA hat did
Yeah,
nothing more than put money in his pocket.
exactly. We just had the world we live in. We had a girl that literally will probably never have to work another day in her life because she said hot to spit on that thing.
She's
And like,
doing more. Hey, she's doing more things productive in the community after going viral from that
yeah,
than what we have going on right now.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and then, I I never I like to think when I grew up, you know, I never saw anybody for a color or anything like that. I saw them for who they were.
Yeah.
If you were cool, you were cool. If you were up in front with me, I was up in front with you. I didn't give a shit who you slept with. I don't care any of that. That you do
Yeah.
you. We
Yeah.
ain't got enough time on this world to be worried about all that. Now, I might not like you because you're a dickhead, and you might not like
Yeah.
me for the same reason. But I'm not I'm not gonna sit here and tell anybody to get out of my country and this and that, because man, I know where they for anybody. In my opinion, at least this part is, I know how good we have it, even
Yeah.
if we don't think we have it that good. And there's
Yeah.
days when you're like, we all get on our soapboxes and we don't think we have it that good. And I have no idea what it's like everywhere else, but that's the one thing I don't think the media or anything lies about. When you see somewhere else and how it is there,
Yeah.
of course anybody would want to come here. This is still the USA. This is still, where dreams every day get made and shit like that. It's just, but the division of like everybody now, and like just the shit that comes out, like it's almost like they just encourage like hatred, and like I feel like they're just everyone's like women in general are just getting
Hmm.
fucking looked at like this is 19 fucking 22,
Yeah.
and we have no women's movement or Simone de Beauvoir or any of that. We don't have anything. It's like, what are we going back in time? Do we
Hmm.
need to go get fucking mullet pistols and Daniel Boone caps, or what the fuck are we doing? It's dude, it's horrible. And I don't think any of them people in that thing give a shit about the country. Their pockets get loaded and fat just like anybody else's. It's a power trip, period.
It
Either
is.
side of it. None of them agenda is to make the world better
Yeah.
or hear better. Their agenda is their agenda, period.
Yeah. It's how it
You know,
is.
and so us common folk just trying to get
Well,
by every day. I just want my kids to not have to fucking go outside in a year or 2 years or 10 years and have to fucking be strapped to go out the goddamn door
yeah.
because all of a sudden now everybody hates everybody again, and because of this or that, or and or if my daughters want to go fucking be an astronaut now, or something like that happens, and all of a sudden now we got motherfuckers saying, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Or they get to school and they're like, oh, I can't, I don't know anything about that. I'm like, you didn't learn that in school? No, we can't learn that shit no more. You're like, man, they're just, it's all of it, every fucking part of it. It's too
But
much, man.
man, I
Both
think
sides of it. It's too much.
with me, it's like I worry about with the kids, like you said. I worry about what our kids are going to grow up, how the society is, how they're going to grow up, and what kind of society they're going to grow up in.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
know, it is funny that today it's like you read the hate in social media. You hear people, you know, back certain people up, and and don't get me wrong, like I'm all for supporting supporting a cause or supporting um a candidate or any kind of political party. That's what makes our nation great.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's when you have other agendas.
exactly.
The agendas speak volumes to me.
Yeah,
When I think what's happened, say within the last 8 years, you figured two terms going into possibly another term. So you figure the past 8 years, we have seen hatred of race, hatred of religion, women's rights, women being spit on upon,
yeah,
uh, kind of told like their bodies mean nothing to them.
right.
I'm sick and tired of people sitting here saying, you know, you know, this is going to happen, this is going to be better, this is going to happen, this is going to be better. None of them do research
No, no,
unless it's you pick up the phone and read what you read on social media.
exactly,
You have people who say don't drink the Kool-Aid, but yet those people are also drinking their own Kool-Aid.
exactly.
It's like the pot calling the kettle black.
It is.
Um, you know, I said it 4 years ago that I think we had a transitional president, and the fact that maybe he could help unify this country after 4 years of what was happening to this country.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to Donald Trump, I think we have people who are all in on this guy. And now you're so all in on this guy, you have nowhere else to go.
no, it's that or nothing. They don't know
It's
anything else.
it is I think people are loving the real life reality show that is playing out in front of our eyes. I don't know. After his, let's be honest, he wasn't assassinated. Dude was shot at. Let's be honest, like you ain't like don't put a fancy. He was shot at. So try to
Yeah,
kill him. They
yeah,
try to put a fancy word to it.
yeah,
But it's like to me, it's like okay, that happened. Okay, come back. I wanted to hear what he said at the convention. It started off. I was like, okay, let me hear what he's got to say. You tell everybody the news and all that. Oh, he threw away his speech and he wants to talk about unity and he wants to do this. Then I got listening to his speech. Now I always try to go into this stuff with an open mind, open ears,
yeah,
and open mind, and look and listen to it. And it started off, and I was like, okay, you know, he's reeling them in. Then I saw the theatrics. Then it became boohoo me. I'm sorry, but when you walked up, they rolled out and all prayers to the family, to the man that lost his life and all
yeah,
that stuff. But when they rolled out his fireman's jacket and his fireman's helmet, and he turned around and walked over to it and then kissed the helmet, that's when I realized this is all theatrics.
yeah,
And then it turned. And then it was you started to hear it all. And then it started to become about him again. And everything he claims he did and everything he claimed he made great and everything like that. And as he's doing it, these people in the audience are just eating from his palm.
yeah,
And that's the scary part.
man. And
I think they're so all in on this guy
yeah,
that it's all or nothing.
and I'll 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 give him credit where it's due. I'll give his team and who's with him. He feeds into people's anger for everything, and he finds perfect wording to absolutely not just kind of light it, but fucking
Yeah.
full blown ignite a
I
fire.
I
And the
think
scary thing is I know that a lot of people are angry about a lot of things,
mhm,
and they were angry before that. You know, a lot of this is nothing new. A lot of this, we've heard it all before.
yep,
But his ability from one already being a celebrity, one being a salesman,
yep,
one already knowing how to be, this. It's like you said, man. Once someone's all in, they're all in, and now that there's you look at anything behind them or anything, and I mean, and it just gets scarier and scarier because then you just got a whole bunch of fucking radical psychopaths, and
I
that's on. And don't get me wrong, that's not just one side. I'm
yeah,
not trying to be that guy because you know, God bless Biden too, but man, anybody that was watching anything he's been on, you could see it. The
yeah,
lights are on and nobody's home. And I mean, he meant well. You
yeah,
know that he was trying to do right, but he's done. And
yeah.
you can't get behind that either. And it's
I
like,
I explained it as saying it's like you see like your grandparent who was one minute they were strong and one minute you could see him like strong and take over the world to all of a sudden you're like, man, that deteriorated quick.
did. Yep, that's exactly
And
it.
I like you said, and it's like it's what one side has brought out, and when you say people that you've known your whole life, that you start to read what they're posting on social media, start to read, the stuff they talk about. I mean, even family members.
Yeah.
And you're like, you felt this way this whole time.
Yeah. And and some of this is and some of that when I read it, I'm like, man, you drank beers with
Yeah.
people I know are
Yeah.
completely on the other side of this that have completely different beliefs do
Yep.
a lot of the stuff that you're kind of hating on So now you're not even being, you're not even being an open sinner. You're just being a false saint. You're just
Yep.
coming at it. So, and then you see that and you're like,
So now,
fuck, man, is this really who
it's
you are?
like if I run into him,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of look at him differently now. So I didn't realize you were as phony as I thought you were. I didn't realize
Yeah.
you were just phony.
And that's the divide, man. That's the toughest
Yep.
part about it, is that something like this is such a thing. And in when it comes to who runs our country, that
Yeah.
it really shows it. I wish to God it didn't tear up and destroy so many things in the process that it shouldn't, because I don't think anybody's seeing the big picture, that the good in the world is
Yeah.
going to take them, us, you, whoever. It's going to take everybody. It's not a party that's going to make the good in the world. It's people coming together and saying, this ain't about fucking this or that or this.
Yep.
This is about everybody that's here now. I don't give a shit if
Yeah.
you're brown, green, orange, fucking purple, rainbow. I don't give a shit who you love, who you don't love. If y'all can't come together when we need to, because at some point something's going to happen here. We
Yeah.
all know it is. It's
Yeah.
going to happen, and if we're divided here, how are we ever going to live through everything else? If somebody else comes in here and sees, they're like, these motherfuckers are fighting themselves. It's the same shit when we go get in other people's wars.
Yep.
What do you think's going to happen if one of the big boys come over here and say, these people hate each other so much, they didn't even see us fucking coming,
Yep.
and then we're all divided too. There's so
Well,
many
see,
things, man.
and
And our kids is what matter. It ain't about
and
us. It's all about our kids.
that's to me where it's like I get, lost in. It's like lost in. It's like I just it amazes me, and I just get lost in like how people think. Like it just, you know, don't don't get me wrong. I'm no saint by any means. I'm not perfect by any means. But when it comes to stuff like, political parties and stuff like that, I always sit there and say politicians aren't about the people anymore. They're
Oh
not.
no, politicians are about politicians.
Politicians are about politicians. It's about what can you do for me and what can I do for my buddies.
Yeah,
I get it. We're pawns in this game,
yeah,
and I people need to understand. Like the biggest I always take away from is one party talks about this invasion of immigrants. That all this crime ridden immigrants that come in here and all they do is murder and rape and sell drugs and all that. And then when you say, oh, we got to close the southern border,
yeah,
so these immigrants only come from one side of the
yeah.
border.
It's only from down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no East
And
Coast.
I'm
There's no
like,
West Coast. There's no other way in the country.
and here I am, and I go, if this invasion, and I'm not saying that like the immigration problem is not a problem. I'm not saying immigration is not a problem or something
Yeah,
like that. I'm just saying is don't oversell it.
but that's how you feed
But
the
that's how
monster.
you feed the weak minded.
Yes, that is how you get the reaction you
My
need.
biggest question is when I hear someone say it, and I try to be friendly, debate friendly and respectfully, and I was like, how is that invasion affecting you?
Yeah, I've
I go on in my day to day life and it's not affecting me.
I
Hell, I'm
have
still trying to figure out what a black and Hispanic job is.
well, and let's be honest there, and I don't mean it bad. And let's think about all the one of the ones that I know. I not profiling, but hey, who in God's name is going to go and get us such delicious, lovely treats to eat out of fields when
Exactly.
the privileged white boys are going to be like, oh no, we don't work for under 18 to
Well,
twenty
yeah,
five dollars an hour, and we sure as shit don't pick fucking we don't pick strawberries, we
we
don't pick
don't pick we
grapes.
don't pick
Yeah,
cabbage and
we don't
lettuce and
we
sweet
build houses.
potatoes.
Yeah, we build houses. We don't roof them.
Yeah,
It's like we build it. We don't demo. We're not a demolition crew. It's
yeah,
like, oh fuck, here we go. And it's, man, I'm right there with you. And it's Now, I'm on the other side too. Like, I don't care if you have a gun. If you like guns and you like shooting guns, that's fine.
And see, hey man, and that's what I said. It's like I'm that way too. It's like carry a gun in my house for
Yeah,
protection reasons.
yeah, yeah. I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna go get. I'm not
if you
gonna
want
go.
to carry a rifle in your house because
Yeah,
you go out and you hunt to
yeah,
provide meat for your family to get through, so be it.
yeah.
If you want to carry a pistol in your house because you feel safer, it, so be it.
And I look at it like this. Like there's a couple kinds of people out there. There's I have a gun in my house for protection,
Yep.
and there's I don't have a gun in my house for protection.
Yeah.
And I'm on the opposite side of you is because we all know I'm quite the animal lover, and I think we all know if you know me at all, as much as me and people sometimes don't see things eye to eye, I don't need a gun anywhere near me
Yeah.
because I would be one of the first motherfuckers that probably volunteered for the purge.
Yeah.
Like
And
and I don't mean that bad. It's just, I mean, it is what it is. Like,
I,
it's just, and so if you want a gun and it's a hobby or you have it for protection, so be it. I don't give a
so
fuck.
be it.
And it's like I said, it's for every side's got their thing. I think on we'll just say the dim side and stuff too. Like I know that sensitivity is a big push, and there are things where I don't agree with every single thing that somebody types being offensive. I don't. There are a lot of there's I could we could go into about a billion different ways
Yeah.
where this is on both sides of things. Like I said, and it's a shame too because it can really divide people in ways that you would never. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and it's so hard because, like you said, you can't. Sometimes you just can't.
And it
Somebody
done.
that you would never expect will say something, and it's not even. It didn't. It's not even. It's not even about the party at that point or who they're. It's just the utter known fact that it just rubs you wrong. Period.
Yeah.
And it especially if it's someone, and it's tougher when it's someone that like I try to respect everybody, but you and I
Yeah.
both know that I give respect to people that give it to me. Like it's an
Yeah.
earned
And
thing.
that's
I'm
how it
not
should
gonna.
be.
And if it's somebody that I actually respect and they say it, I still, I see the good in them still,
Yeah.
and I might not agree with them, but then there's sometimes it's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Hey,
Like,
I'm all about you don't have to like me, but please respect me. I don't have
yeah,
to like you,
yeah,
but I respect you. Until you start showing me the disrespect is when I won't respect you.
yeah, exactly.
You
And
don't have to talk to me. I'm okay with that.
yeah, I say,
I'm to a point in life where it's like if I want to talk to you, I'll talk to you. If I don't want to talk to you, I won't talk to you.
well, and think
I
of
don't
us, you,
care if
you
you're
and me.
upset.
Think of you and me for perfect example. You and me can get on here and bullshit like no other, just all day.
Yeah.
But like when we're doing life, when we message back and forth, it's a couple sentences, a few
Yeah.
sentences, and we're good. We know
Yeah.
what we mean. You short and to the point, we get it, and it's like that. It's like, hey man, there are people that if you don't want to talk to me, I'm like you. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. I'm
I
like
don't blame you for one, to be honest with you, and you ain't hurt my feelings for another.
I am I worry about the future for my children.
Yeah.
You know, it, do I hope prices go down? Yes, like everybody else. Do I believe we need to have either one of these men are well, not well, one of them's out. So do I need the other one running or trying to get in there? No.
I,
I'm sorry, and I hope people understand this when I say you are a 70, 78-year old white male millionaire.
and
How can you
clearly,
relate to me?
yeah, and that is no
I
matter how
need
many, and
someone
I
that
don't mean it bad. No,
I need someone in there that can be relatable to me.
yeah, and no matter what anybody says, they're all criminals. You have that he's also a criminal, and I don't give a shit who argues with it or not. And like I said, this is on neither side. He's also a fucking racist, and it's clear as day. Like
Oh yeah.
it's not even
And
hidden anymore.
and possibly a pedophile.
Yeah, and I'm not, they're both, like I said, it's not. But like you, I worry about my kids. Would I like to see things get cheaper? Yes, but to sit here every time there's been a Republican president, gas goes down. This is
Yeah,
not science. This is every time. The
yeah,
economy, I know everyone's gonna be like, well, you don't know anything either, and I don't. But here's my theory on that. I remember this time when that fake virus that almost killed my mother. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, and people lost loved ones to the flu and all
yeah.
that. I remember when that
Oh,
happened, and remember when the whole world shut down for 2 years.
yeah,
So oddly enough, now maybe I'm wrong, and you and me have both been in a supply and demand type of work. A lot of people
yeah,
are. When the country shuts down technically for 2 years, and like we're living on, can we get essential food? Can we get toilet paper? And can we get essential items and keep our hospitals open? Not
yeah,
can we manufacture this? Can we manufacture that? Uh, Farmers now have to kill livestock because they can't do anything with it. Everything changes. The bird flu happens a couple times, kills a lot of, turkeys and stuff like that. And like, so our food,
yeah.
droughts, all those fun things that happen, with COVID,
Mm.
because how in the world was the economy? What else did you think was going to happen? That's my
Put it
thing, is
like this.
how would anybody see it any other way? It was going to do, it doesn't matter who was in office. This was coming the minute that wasn't like a 5 week thing. That was a 2 year, almost 3 year,
Yes,
like it was a real deal. Like, and people will deny it all they want, call it what they want to. Some of you have people that died in it.
yeah,
Sorry, thoughts and prayers to you, but that flu killed them. It was the real deal, as some of and it fucking shut down the world, man. Like the
it
economy
did.
was gonna get fucked. I don't know why. I love that everybody thinks it could be, it's one man, one president, and all their faults that happened. It would have happened either way, and that's
Yeah,
neither of their faults. If Trump was in office, the Dems would have said the same thing.
yeah,
They just always and that's the other part of it with both parties. They always have to fucking have somebody to blame.
yeah.
Nobody owns anything. They
Well,
never own it because it's that famous back and forth. Well, wasn't my fault, it was theirs. Nobody ever takes accountability for anything, and that's why it gets so jaded on the parties, is
there
because there's zero
is
accountability.
the
It is, I'm going to blame you because I can, and everyone that believes the same way I do, or is this, is on the left, is going to say this, or everybody on the right is going to say this. So instead of anybody in the whole fucking thing saying,
yeah,
I fucked up, this is on me, and having any kind of humility because they run the country, there's zero humility. They can't show any like humanity or humility. They just have to be on that fucking power monger trip, and
yeah.
that causes everybody else to do that. And that
Well,
in tune, that's what happens, man. Is it? I feel like that's where you get it. Is it breeds hate because you always have somebody to blame. Look on the other
I
side.
think
They think like this. I'm going to blame them.
I think it is. You said the key word is accountability.
Yeah, there's
I
none.
think, it's like it's always with, it was always their fault. Either side. I mean, it's been that way. It's like now it's gotten worse. It's like, the right side, everything is the left side's fault. The left
Yeah,
side, everything's the right side's fault.
exactly. There's nobody that'll say, yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah. And
Never
then
happens.
it boils down to egos.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You have one who is a massive ego.
There's no other way of putting it.
And and it's like we're to a point in life where we have to get rid of, or we have to weed out that old way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, it's like not trying to say, how this comes out. I don't know how it's going to come out. Or it's like that there's no more needing for older white males to continuously run this country when they don't understand what it's like to be a minority in this country.
Not wrong
How
at all.
it's like we need people who are relatable to the common person, someone to
Yeah,
like common to you and I.
yeah. Plus,
What I see in the office right now is not, and who is running on the other side is not that way. I
no.
watched that convention, and I looked out there, and all I saw was money. I live paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
There was no
No
one at
idea
that.
what it's like to be in their shoes.
There was no one at the convention that could relate to me, and that I could
They
relate to
pay
them.
they pay more in taxes than all in it probably in a year than I'll make in my lifetime. Some of them,
Yeah,
by far.
and it's neither. I'm to the point now. It's like let's look at stuff that needs to be handled. You know, let's worry about the what's going to be left to our kids. Let's worry about helping our own. Let's worry about taking care of our military. Let's talk about the military guys that suffer, have mental issues.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
take care of our own. Like we
Yeah,
got so much going on. Look at the homeless rates we got going on.
yeah,
You know,
and
it, it's just why
and
can't we just combine, like unify instead
and
of it's got to be this way or that way.
and that goes too. Like you mentioned homeless, and one of the things that you see people do, it goes hand in hand with that, is everyone, and I don't say everyone, but the majority of people, I feel like, and it's an unfortunate thing that it is that way, assume someone's homeless by their own doing, and it
Hmm.
was also then was either drug related, drunk related, or criminal.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have had some really bad luck
Hmm.
that are great people,
Hmm.
that are wonderful people that I to this day I question why in God's name they had any luck like that, and who up above did they piss off
Yeah.
to have a run of bad luck that they did, and where they came in as they were fortunate enough to have family and friends that made sure they didn't end up that way.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
there are so many homeless people. I'm sure that, and you see it all the time. That if anybody really knew their stories, there's a lot more to it than just you know. And that's the problem is it's so easy to just put it off and say, oh no, we don't need to take care of that. They did that to themselves, and it's the same thing with unemployment sometimes. You and me have both been there. We know
Yeah.
people that have been there. It ain't like we were. You don't. I don't know very many people. I can say the majority of people I know don't go out of their way to lose their job, and
Homeless.
don't try to live off the system.
Yeah. That's the
But
part.
but
That's the big part.
the system is
Fucked up.
yeah, and we should take care of the people here because if like I said, this sounds crazy. If anybody ever marches over onto this and gets onto here,
Uh huh.
it's and we have to unify. What have we ever done for them to think they need to help us? Or it's or the violence. It's and some of the crime. You think about it, they're like they feel like they just got forgotten. And
Yeah.
and I'm not taking sides like that. I'm not saying like that because I don't want it to come like Jesus Christ, Hobbs. But there's so much more to all of that stuff that we'll
Yeah.
never understand. But as far as taking care of our own, it's the same thing with schools, man. To fucking take care of our teachers, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Man, that is
teachers in the
the
schools
the
and like
edu the education
yeah,
system is fucked up.
yeah. We got so many teachers that when we had Dud on here, like if I had $1 for every teacher that like I know of people that are teachers that you know our kids should be so lucky to have them teach them.
Yeah.
Like honestly, because they're like some of the best and smartest people I know. Like
Yeah.
they're great people, and like
It is.
they just get shit on.
It is. I've known people. I know I mean, some teachers, um, there are teachers. I know some teachers who are ex-teachers now, and they all complain about the system. The
Yeah.
system's not, the system's not set up to help educators, and
No.
that's what I think. That's you know, big in society today. I think it starts at home. I think kids are being taught not to respect, you know, elders per se, their authority.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately we live in a society where there's a lot of single parent households, um, and you can't have kids are just kind of just raising themselves.
Go.
How many households really, I mean, truly are mom and dad?
Right.
How many, you have a lot of single mom households. And I will
Oh
go
yeah.
to say this, I I
I
said this
came
one
from one.
time, and it pissed a lady off when I said this, but I said, you have to understand it. Women can't raise a true man. You can't teach them to be a true man. It takes a male figure to teach them to become real men. Don't get me wrong, it's saying like you can't raise them, but to teach them the to become a true man. It Not saying that it hasn't been done, but I'm sitting here saying is it's a lot harder for you as a single mom to teach a boy to be a real man than it
Yeah.
is to have a father in the household to teach a boy to be a real man.
Yeah.
As long as that father is being a real man,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like society is so fucked up right now. I
Yeah.
worry about, you know, my family. I worry about, my mother, and I worry about my kids, and I worry about the world they're going to grow up in, and I pray, say, man, just whatever it is, God, like, give us a sign
Yeah.
to show us, and I'm sure He is.
Yeah.
He's giving us signs that this shit is, I can end this stuff real quick
Yeah.
if you guys don't fix it.
Yeah.
But man, today's society is jacked up.
It is, man.
Um, the political side, I hate this time of the year. I'm
It's
tired of
the
seeing I'm tired of seeing commercials already. I'm tired of, like, and now, I've said it all along, and we've said it all along. I kind of deep down hope we get a woman president because maybe that's what's going to take to fix us.
I fucking love it. Like, I think I know everybody probably looking. Anybody listen to us probably like these two are fucking idiots, and that's fine. I'd love it. Like, I don't even them motherfucker. There ain't a
That's because
motherfucker in there on either side know what to do with each other. They would
I was,
nobody up there would know what to do.
it was like I go,
Hell hath no
okay,
fury like a pissed off lady. I mean,
hey, you have a strong woman run this country, and I get the country's probably not ready for it. And then on top of that, being a strong minority woman,
yeah,
I don't get me wrong, I get it. But at the same time, it's like everybody else has fucked it up.
right. Try
And
something
look at
different.
this. Why don't we just give the woman a chance? Because I tell you what, when you needed something, who did you run to? Mom. You
Yeah.
needed something to be
Yep.
fixed. Who did you run to? Mom.
Exactly.
You needed some advice. Who was probably one of the first person you ran to? Is
Mom.
mom.
Yep.
And I get it, like, why people will say that because other countries still see women beneath them,
Yeah.
and I get that. Like, I understand that. That's a world problem. I get that, but at the same time, our focus should be here. And you know, God damn it, why not?
Hey, that's my thing is, and I always think of it like, when people minority wise they look at it that way. I always think of it, and I always liken it to like cars or something like that.
Yeah,
You give me a Lamborghini. I don't give a shit if it's green, black, orange, yellow, purple. I'll tell you what that motherfucker still does. It gets after it. You give me a
yeah,
Ford Raptor in any color, It's still a Ford fucking Raptor. It's been here. It grew up here. It went through it, and they see things and have went through stuff that we have not and never will.
Yes.
We and there ain't a white person on here. Yeah, you might have got bullied for your sexual preference or gender identification or being maybe called a geek in school or what you liked. Yeah, but there ain't never, I don't know a single fucking one of my buddies that can say here or people that I know that can say I was attacked for being white. I was, and I'll say that shit. I don't give a damn. I was called a wigger. I am so offended because he called me vanilla slice big boy. I'm so upset about it. It's like we don't, dude. We don't
I,
know. We don't understand it, and and
I,
and I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what anybody says about it. Like it's a part of the world that it's part of where we're at society that we don't know. Like we
hey,
pretend we know it, but we ain't in it. We didn't go through it. We didn't know what it was like to grow up that way. We weren't the ones listening to a whole bunch of groups of us fucking firing off down
yeah,
the road at anybody
yeah,
because we were the ones doing it, not the fucking ones taking it. And
yeah,
everybody knows how this goes. When you're on the opposite end of a lot of shit that you bark,
yeah.
depending on who you are, it hurts and you take it a lot different. Like you ain't ready for it when it actually smacks you upside the face, and that's one of them things where like when it comes to that kind of minorities and shit, I'm like, man, we can't put ourselves in their shoes
It.
because we ain't been in their shoes, and we say we have, but
I always
we
tell,
don't,
and
we haven't.
I have been, how did I say? I guess criticized for a comment I made one time, and people didn't understand it because they always say, "Oh, well, we struggle." I said, "You can't truly say you struggle if you're a white man in America." And I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but your struggle is different than my struggle.
It is, and
And
it is
I
different,
always and I always sit there and said, especially, you've never always had to constantly worry about if a cop got behind you.
right?
You never had to worry about if you were walking through a mall or through a store and all of a sudden you see security guards walking around near you. My eyes was always this like if you and someone argued said you don't understand my struggle either. I get that. But at the same time, it's like if you were panicking because a cop was behind you and you were doing all that, it's probably because you had some shit on you shouldn't have.
I was gonna say that, or the expression of who you were, or who
Yeah.
you were pretending to be, or what you
Yeah.
thought was cool. Which do your thing, man. But
Yeah.
if walk like a duck and talk like a duck.
Must be a duck.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they don't. That struggle. A lot of them. I don't mean that. Not everybody, but
Yeah.
they bring a lot of that on themselves. It's not. You know, that was
That was my
sometimes that's
point.
well warranted.
And that's what my point was.
Yeah.
It's like what I'm saying is, I get that you had to worry about this, worry about that, but that was because of the lifestyle you chose to live.
Exactly. It's different than you just going to fucking drive to
You never
Casey's.
had to get pulled over and stopped and said, "Oh, you fit the description of
Mm-hmm.
this that
Yeah.
just robbed a grocery store
Yeah.
down the street, and you just happen to be at a gas station pumping gas." You never had to worry about that. You were probably more worried about the weed you had in your car and the other shit you had in your car. And that's why you got nervous.
Yeah. Or driving on the wrong side of the road, jamming "fuck the police" with your neck
Yeah.
tattoo and your fucking wife beater on, and then pulling into Casey's hot like an asshole and stealing half the shit in there. And now you're like,
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that, when I said it, it's like, I'm not saying that your life's not a struggle.
no,
It's not a struggle. I'm just talking about it's a different struggle.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that's what again that goes with people are so naive to just because you know like you say just because you point out that someone don't struggle the same as you that doesn't that's not that shouldn't be taken offensive it's a
Yeah.
fact. like you and me or anybody. Fuck, we all struggle differently and
Yeah.
with different things. Like you hear, the term, you don't know my struggle. No, I don't know your fucking struggle, but I know that you don't struggle like I do because you're a white boy,
Hey
a
man,
token white boy.
I tell you what.
I can tell you what, it ain't the same struggle. Now, we might have some of the same struggles,
Yeah.
but some of them ain't the same neither. And that's totally, I get it. Like,
I
I've done that.
came up raised uh majority of my youth in my youth in a 2-bedroom house
Yeah.
in the inner city. I have my ass in basically a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Tell you right now, I ain't leaving this shit.
No, I get it. I get it, man. I get it. You
I
know,
know the struggle,
yeah. And
and believe me,
man, I sit here.
I've made it to where I was, I am now. But I'm like, I don't want to go back to that.
No. And
I, hey, they, hey, now I'll drive through that old neighborhood just to remind me what I came from,
yeah.
and
And
say, but look where I'm at now. Am I just going to go down there to go down there? Oh hell no!
no, but you go down there, to remember.
I
And
walk around,
that's
I walk around my nose in there all the time. I have no problems against it anymore.
yeah, you're like, this is mine. I know, I get it, dude. It's just, it's, and that's the thing, man, is it,
Hey, I speed down just to hope to get a ticket. Just say, hey man, leave me alone.
yeah, let me get this ticket.
Just
Well,
what?
I got one last year in Excelsior. I tried to play that game. I don't think I liked it.
Well, man.
I'm blaming it on my wife too, because I got her a baked potato and I was trying to get it home to her while it's still hot. Because, God forbid I just, had her put it in the air fryer or microwave it like a fucking smart person would do. I decided to go too fast. And apparently, Fat Man Dominic Toretto, who I thought I was, the police officer, did not agree.
Did
So,
not agree.
did not agree
Well,
at all.
man, we have to. I'm gonna get off of this and change it up.
Right on.
Let's
Man,
change
it's
it up a
something.
little bit.
It's a good thing to address, though, man. I'm
It
glad you
is,
brought it up.
and I know we try to stay away from it, but I think with the way things are going and the way things have been, it's something that maybe we need to talk about because it's like now I'm over it all now. Let it ride out. I'm tired of the news now. And I mean, when the next convention comes up, I'll pay attention to it. But I'm like, it has to be talked about because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Uh, World of sports.
Ooh, crazy right
Let's
now.
go. Let's go. First of all, Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah,
We had Adrian Beltre. We had
deserved it.
uh, Joe Mauer.
Deserved it ish.
Deserved it ish. Let's see who else
Ish.
did we have.
Todd Helton.
Todd Helton
Okay.
and the manager. Oh, used to manage the Pirates when Bonds was there.
Leland.
Yeah, Jim Leland.
Leland's a badass. Plus Leland gets points for low key smoking in the dugout and always trying to hide
Yeah.
it from the camera, which was
So
hilarious.
out of those four, did Joe Mauer deserve it?
Okay, I'm biased here. So obviously I'm off I'm all speaking of things that need to fucking change. I'm off the 95-year-old sports writers that still vote.
Yeah,
Half of
I'm
them.
with you on that one.
I think that shit needs to go. Uh, I'm gonna sit here and say that as overall good guys of baseball, they
Yes.
did a great job and very good baseball players with the good clean image Todd Helton and the perfect good clean image Joe Mauer.
Yep.
Like they are very well. Look at both of them. They were one's a Colorado guy through and through, and one was a Minnesota guy through and through. So on that part, yes, they did. If that's what the voters were looking at, and very very solid careers.
Yeah.
Both underrated with the glove too. Both pretty solid glove guys
Yeah.
too. So body of work, yes, but they get an asterisk mark, a Hobbsy asterisk mark,
I agree.
because if you're going to asterisk mark Manny
Yeah.
and A Rod, and
Yeah.
Bonds
Yeah.
and some of the guys that aren't in, some of the
Yeah.
guys that the percentages are going up that are still not in. I don't.
I I looked at I saw it and I feel like I think it was more of a was Todd Helton a beast? Absolutely. I was neither here nor there with him.
Yep,
Joe Mauer kind of the same way. Now Jim Leland, absolutely,
absolutely. And Beltray,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Adrian Beltre, probably
Stud
one of the best third basemen we'll ever see play the game.
ever. And a complete goofball.
Yeah. The fact that Big Poppy touched his head as he was coming out to give a speech was an absolute classic.
Gotta love it.
Which brings me, and I would say congratulations to them. That's always great. I'm like you, man. I'm tired of the writers. I think things need to change in baseball. I think baseball overall needs to change. I think just the way it is, um, put out there.
Yeah,
NFL absolutely does a great job of promoting the game.
yeah,
Uh, NBA is, I even, has done a great job of promoting the game. MLB has done an absolute suck ass job of promoting the game of baseball. And
yeah.
then they
It's
wonder why they're losing more and more fans.
well, and it's they the angles they take at shit, and then just they focus all. There's such a world of small market teams
Yeah.
that if MLB wanted to promote, like, just in general, I get their individual markets and stuff, but the Royals are a perfect example. Fucking, you have Bobby Witt Jr. had a coming out party. I bet half the motherfuckers
Man,
are like, who the hell? But perfect example of that is damn well Kansas City doesn't have a way to watch the games, like a good way to
exactly.
watch the Royals. If you're
Exactly.
MLB and you know that arguably one of the greatest catchers of all time
Yep.
is in the twilight of his career,
Yep.
one of the most exciting stars of the game for the next 10 years barring injury, 10, 15 years is here.
Yeah.
You do the perfect example of just promoting it. You do whatever you can. You get involved to make sure Kansas City fans and everyone else. I get that everyone else can do it, but you make sure the fans of the cities can watch their games.
Well,
You
but
hopefully,
and that's sort of my argument is saying is if you have uh I'll just go because I got the hat on. You have a
yeah,
Cleveland Guardians fan.
yeah,
Now, if you go onto the MLB app and you wanted to watch Cleveland versus the Royals,
yep,
so you would get to see the Bobby Witts, the Salvies, the Lugos that
yep,
are all stars.
yeah,
Um, you can't because you're
no,
blacked out
exactly. And it's like,
unless you. Yeah, and we've had this argument before, and you know, fired Manfred, fuck Bally Sports. Like,
I hate it all.
it's ridiculous that it's like my boy is at the Royals game tonight, and he got to watch the home run derby with me, and
Uh-huh.
absolutely was like amazed because he's never really seen Bobby Witt not be able to watch Bobby the Witt play,
Yeah,
and was just like, oh my god, he's a Royal. I'm like,
yeah,
why
yeah,
can't we watch? Well, commissioner won't let that happen. TV
yeah.
contracts won't let that happen.
Well, and I
And
love,
you lose young fans that way,
yeah, and I love
and
in the
it's
All
like
Star game that in the All Star game, like I love in the Derby that they got so many new faces.
yeah,
But with that said,
yeah,
to to not promote it because none of the major faces were in it,
you had
which is
one,
I feel exactly why it did not get promoted near as much.
yeah,
And at this point, I feel like for the sake of baseball,
yeah,
financially, there's no reason you don't throw a little if
money in it.
yeah, and say, hey, judge, we know you're locked in,
Hey, that's like
or
saying LeBron, why don't you do the dunk contest?
yeah, or Soto, we know, or each or fucking or Shohei, we know you got this, and we know you're dealing with this, but $5 million is $5 million. Go out there
Yeah,
and go out and don't take it serious. You don't even have to take it serious. Go out there and just hack so that the kids get what they want to see. And I'm
yeah.
like I said, I'm glad they got to see a lot of guys. If I had a fucking dollar for how many people probably that are adults that watch baseball didn't know who Teoscar Hernandez was.
But yeah, it's like when we grew up and we watched it,
Yeah.
we got to see our favorites.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
We got to see Griffey hit. We
Yeah.
got to see McGuire hit. We got
Yep.
to see Stosa hit. We got to see numerous Cal Ripken Jr. hit.
We got to see the
Like,
Bash Brothers hit.
I mean, we got to see all those guys hit, and it was one. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like when I think of All Star games, I think by far the home run derby is the best. It used to be to me the slam dunk contest. Now that's just gone out the window.
Yep.
You know, now the home run derby is where it's at. Because in reality, you can't fake a home run like you can a dunk.
Right. Well, but
You
there's
know,
so many things they
you
could
miss
do
a
to make
dunk,
it.
you miss a dunk, you miss a dunk. That's it.
Yeah. There's so
These
many
guys
things
get,
too they could do to make it better again. Like bring back Berman. Get Berman to come back for one thing.
yeah, that's
He's
it.
still there. Say, Chris, come back. We'll pay you fucking whatever to get on there with Ravitch, get a dream team up there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the guys now, but to hear back, gone, and have him animated with it and Ravitch doing it and like get
Yeah,
some of that, or have some kind of skills challenge involved in it.
I
You know,
I thought about that too, but I'm like, there's so much skills you can do in baseball to make it.
I think they should have a like if they did the home runs, I think there should
Yeah,
be some kind of like penalty
rob
thing
the
that
home runs.
if you hit a foul ball or something,
Yeah,
or some kind of penalized thing where you have to hit left-handed. I think it'd be fucking hilarious. And most of those guys are athletic enough that they probably can hit fucking jacks left-handed.
well,
Some of them
what do you
do.
think? Well, what do you think of the new format?
I liked it. Like it's still, I'm always going to be a fan of the old format. I know that they wanted to speed it up, but I absolutely love that those dudes just take pitches, get set in the box, and hit absolute fucking
Tank.
monster bombs. Like
Yeah,
we used to see, like I remember, man. You know how it was, dude. It was we saw so many like 480 plus foot bombs and
yeah.
500 bombs, and now if you're lucky, you get a 470, a
I
480, because they're so gassed by the time they're done swinging. They're
now
just trying to get it 326, not fucking 390, 450.
my boy had a great idea, and I said, "All right, this is what I can get along with." He said, "Why don't they like do a second home run derby? Take your contestants, give them like the 10 out thing, but give them an aluminum bat,
Oh my, yes.
a BB core. I mean, you give them one of them U-trip bats. Oh, could
That'd be
you
awesome.
imagine seeing Bobby Witt up there with the BB core
I saw.
or Juan Soto? I mean, goddamn, Shohei just hit yesterday a 473-foot bomb out of
There's
Dodger
a
Stadium.
there's a YouTube video clip from last year when Vladdy was in the Dominican
Uh huh.
and he hit with a fucking metal bat in the Derby. Like they let, and oh my god, I would love to see old Bat Bros exit velos that he was hitting, because some of the balls that man was hitting, I'm like, that would kill anything it hit. He was absolutely pulverizing baseballs.
And he said, "I think that would be fun to watch." I said, "You're absolutely right. That would be fun to watch."
There wouldn't be a man on this earth from baseball that was a baseball fan not fucking glued to the second half of the home run derby.
Oh,
Or your final four,
yeah.
or if you took your final four and said, all right, you went wood bats to this, and then the final four you guys are hitting with fucking metal. Oh my God. Dude, it would.
Or if they found some old school beaser.
Yeah. Oh. Somebody go up there with a fucking red line and a Z2K, and they'd have to put like a fucking netting around the whole stadium. You know, Harper in high school is hitting the roof at Tropicana. Can you imagine one of those guys, dude? Especially like, there's a couple of those guys. Oh no.
Could you imagine seeing Pete Alonso crushing
Ozuna, man, I would give me Judge Giancarlo Stanton and just go hit it as
head to
fucking
head?
far as you possibly can.
Well,
It would be,
I would say let the fans vote.
yeah,
As long as
hell
they're
yeah,
healthy,
yeah. So
you
get them in
get.
there.
Hey, put it like this: you go old school. You get them aluminum bats or whatever, the hottest U-trip bat. Get them the freaking Eastern hype
Fuck, they
fire,
need 450 of them some bitches on standby.
and say we're gonna do a home run derby type of style game with a 3v3, three
Oh,
versus three. But you guys get 10 outs or you get 5 outs in inning. Let's see how many you could
dude,
drop.
that would be insane. I'd be like, but I'm hitting off coach and not hitting off Paul Skeets.
I put it like this. Here's the one thing I know that's the one thing about the home run derby that it brings out is the pitching that kind of gives it its natural feel. I almost sit there and say, bring a machine out.
Right?
Put
Bobby
that
Witt's
thing
pitcher was killing him.
put that thing up to about 70,
Yeah.
dead center and dead middle, and let them guys go up there and G-hack.
Yeah.
Just let them go up there.
That'd be awesome.
Better yet, give them a bomb bat.
Oh God.
You don't even have to give them just swing a bomb bat. You
Yeah.
ain't got to give them the aluminum bat. Give them a bomb bat. See what they do.
The sound would be amazing.
People
That'd be awesome.
people go nuts.
They
Hell,
also
just
need to
take
bring
the bomb
back.
bat and repaint it.
Yes, that'd be awesome. I love it. The All-Star game too needs to go back to their team jerseys.
Oh, that was
I'm done with the. I mean, some of them are cool. Don't get me wrong, but I much
horrid.
prefer everybody strolling out representing their team,
I agree.
and like it just has a better feel to it, especially for the kids that love them some baseball but might not know a lot of the guys yet and are learning them. You know, they
Yeah.
just see them in an all-star jersey. They're not seeing the team they represent, and it's like,
No.
and it's good to see that because ain't a
Yeah.
whole lot of A's hanging out in there. There's not,
Well, man, baseball's on the second half. Bobby Witt started off hot.
like 10
The
of his
second
last
half,
12 or some shit, or 12 or something. He's a freak.
spring training. Well, not spring training. Football. God
Oh,
damn,
yeah.
I call it spring training.
It's coming.
Well, spring training is going to be a while, but football
Training camp's going, man.
has started,
Yes.
so
It's
it
it's
is going
coming.
to get excited.
It's coming.
It's coming. It is coming.
Time for a three-peat. First time to ever do
Well,
it. History.
I am. They're all after to stop one guy.
Oh, yeah. They're going to need
That's
to.
it.
How about
But
South Sudan, man?
Olympics.
LeBron, I don't even watch basketball. LeBron got to come in there at the end, do daddy things. And I'm like, fuck it. Come on. I really wanted to. I'm like, if Steph Curry would have shot that, it'd been way cooler. I don't want to see LeBron do shit. But, I'm like, but then I sat there and I didn't realize, I didn't realize Kevin Durant's hurt. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wait, your starting five is playing, and Kevin Durant's not even playing yet.
Oh man, yeah, that
So
was crazy.
yeah, so we were talking about when we were talking about Hall of Fame baseball.
Yeah,
One thing I was going to mention before we get off here, you know who's eligible next year, right?
yeah,
Ichiro.
yeah. He's going in.
If he don't go in unanimous, I'm gonna be shocked.
Him, I think I looked at the list. I think him and Felix.
CC Sabathia too.
Yeah, him. I think him, CC, and King Felix.
Yeah.
I think, I think they may throw a fourth one in there.
Andrew Jones has got to be getting close. I don't. I mean, it's hard to, dude. If you're gonna let Helton, and that was my thing. Is I'm like, I look at Helton stuff, and you look at the stats there with Mauer and stuff. I'm like, how is Andrew Jones not going?
Yeah,
The
I
dude.
don't
I
know.
mean, he got Gold Gloves for days.
Yeah,
He's
I
had
don't know.
400 to 450 dingers.
Yeah.
I'm like, played center. Like, do you remember? Like, when he was healthy in center
Mm-hmm.
field, he was as good as any of them.
Best.
Yeah, I was like,
He was one of the best to grace center field.
yeah. So it's like,
And I don't know. Yeah, I I go back and forth them because I think injuries.
yeah,
I think the thing gets him. But I'm like, if you look at just how he changed the game when he played,
yeah. It's like,
I'll tell
God
you
damn.
what. And have you seen his son,
Yeah, Drew.
Drew Jones?
Mm-hmm.
The kid is going to be a stud.
You freak.
He is going to be a stud. There is a lot. I don't know if you caught any of the
The futures
up
game.
games.
Yeah,
There, baseball is going to be well taken care of.
yeah. They're in good hands because they're
Very
like
good.
a whole different like breed of
Yeah.
athletes. They're like super freaks.
Well, one of the biggest things I saw, and I don't know, it was I watched the MLB draft and how college kids are starting to become the norm. It used
Yeah,
to be it wasn't a lot of college guys get drafted. There was a
yeah,
lot of high school kids, a lot of now it's starting to. I mean, you had to be almost a stud of a stud, but now it's starting to show that college ball can get you there just as easy.
yeah. There's some pretty talented kids coming out. I mean, what Wake Forest had two guys in the top 10,
Top
Seaver
had it
King and dude
had
pitcher.
an had an Aussie go number
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You had. I mean,
The Royals
Caglione coming with the Royals to get a little
Royals
mini
got a
Shohei.
little two way guy going on.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that goes. Tommy Tanks got taken in the second round.
Going to the soon to be by the time he gets up, he'll be the Las Vegas A's.
Yep, yep,
But well, man, with anything, you know, baseball, I don't know, baseball's come to an end. We had a trying season
yeah,
to say the least. I will say I'm proud of my boy.
yeah,
He stepped up. He did pretty well. I was surprised he stepped up in age. He held his own pretty good.
yeah,
Uh, Learned
yeah,
a lot about himself, learned a lot of his weaknesses, a lot of, what the strengths to continue to build on top of. Um, he's still got a lot to go. I've said it all along, and I've told my wife this. I think he's a late bloomer in sports, and he's starting to come. He's starting to shed that cocoon a little bit, and it's fun to watch, man. It really is. The ever dreaded tryout season is still upon us in all
oh,
sports right now. Um, you know, it's that I hate it because man, it used to be able to take a bunch of kids and just build it and keep on going,
yep,
and now they change year after year after year.
right.
It,
You're
it you
lucky
know
there's three
it,
faces that are the same.
yeah, it's a little depressing in some ways, but at the same time, um, it's like I tell him, man, it's going to be, you know, he decided he's going to stay at the same level again, play at the same level again, just a little better competition, and go up in competition a little bit. And I said, I know you wanted to get to the big field, and I want you to get to the big field, but let's try to work on and master what we have going,
Yeah,
you know, and all that stuff. So
the big field will still be there.
yeah, it's gonna be there in the year. It
Yep,
ain't going
it'll still
anywhere.
be there.
And guess what? From here on out, that's where you'll be.
Yep.
So man, year was, you know, we finished off in St. Louis. Um, there was one kid that we were missing that I wish was there. Great kid, great ball player. He would have been a big help, especially when it came to arms. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I I don't know if you remember. I remember that. Like I remember at 12 and 13 years old, and I don't remember some of these kids being 6'2", 165 pounds, looking like middle linebackers.
You get like one or two, but not like a bunch. Now there's
Yeah,
a bunch.
we had a team that had about 4 or 5,
Yeah.
at least 5'10" and above, and 3 of them look like they should be starting defensive ends
Right? And you're like,
on the varsity squad. And it's like, good lord.
they're grown big places, man.
And yeah, man, I guess because I look at our team and I'm like, we have no one under. Uh, I think the tallest kid we got is 5'3".
It'd be like up here, man. It's a God bless them, like our high school teams, man. It's like we got a couple big boys, but like we got some good in shape boys, but man, there's not a whole lot of like big boys. And I mean, some of them, I've been around now almost, I've been around with Braden for almost 4 years now, and some of them I think were the same height then that
Yeah,
they are now.
yeah.
Like they were 6 foot then, they're 6 foot now.
Man,
And
I
I'm
kid
like,
you. When you have an umpire like tell one of the kids like after that bat, and he said, "Oh, I saw that kid pull up in the car with his wife and his kids."
yeah, you're like, you got a mortgage and a fucking 720 credit score.
Oh my God, man! I tell you what, this generation of young kids, and I know, man, I don't know if it's the water, the food they're eating, or woo,
Never know with
talk
them, man.
about breeding some athletes. There's some people out there breeding some athletes. Good Lord.
Up this way, man, it's just if the farther they're out in the cornfields, the bigger they get.
Yeah, well, football. Let's see. We hit the last month without football. Art,
Yeah, the boys started football camp today,
yeah,
yesterday. Yes,
yeah.
what is today? Is today Monday?
Today is Monday.
Yeah, so today, he still got his still coming back from the foot. The foot was a mess, but
Yeah.
starting to walk on it finally a little bit, get some more weight on it. Once he gets his
Well,
confidence back in it, he'll get
we
going. But
got the football. We got the middle school football camp coming up. He finishes up the conditioning side here within the week, and then a couple weeks off, and then school is back in session.
oh yeah, that was Braden
Oh,
had wrestling camp last week.
oh
They got football camp this week. They got
yeah,
like practice starts. Then they got that one dead week coming up where they can't do shit. And then that
yeah,
next week school
that's
starts. And
it.
then now Carly's got cheer, like tonight she had open gym cheerleading, and then we got
Yep,
volleyball, and then Katie's
yep.
gonna have band practice. And I'm sitting here and I'm like looking at my like I'm just waiting for like I know this like when Ashley's got like an app she puts on that's on her phones and like she puts all the schedule on
Oh,
for like when school starts, and I'm like
oh yeah.
already just I'm like so that's why I was telling you Sunday. I'm like, what fucking day am I ever gonna be home at night? I'm
Well,
like, God damn.
I tell you what, man. It's like I'm happy. Like I have the new team getting built. We're headed to the right direction.
Yeah,
Excited to see some of these new boys I'm bringing in. I'm excited to see him play school ball this year.
yeah.
Of course, the little one's still little, but she's kicking ass in gymnastics. She had a fun little t-ball season. Uh, uh,
Man, it's there's nothing more fun than watching them play t-ball.
annoying when
Yes,
they're
but it's
in the
great.
dirt 90% of the time. Um, we wonder if the next step is coach pitch,
Oh yeah,
and wonder if she's ready for that yet. But it's she wants to continue to play. That's the route she's going to have to take. So
yeah,
she enjoys the game, man. That's why I was saying earlier in the day, earlier in the conversations, man. The world is about them little ones coming up,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
and people need to figure it the fuck out. So
Agreed.
these kids have a wonderful life and world to grow up and live in and raise their kids and everything else. Because I'm getting to a point where it's like, am I even going to be able to see my grandbabies?
Exactly.
Because of the world.
Yeah.
But
I don't. You know, I'm like that's me. I'm like, man, if I make it to 50, is 50 gonna make it to me?
yeah,
So,
well, I'm a couple months off shy of that.
oh yeah,
So,
you'll be there.
but when I look at the grandkids side of it, I'm like, goddamn, I got a way to go. Better have a way to go.
Right? Yeah.
So,
God damn it.
but man, let's see. Anything else you want to leave with?
No, man, I'm pretty all right. Life's life. It's
Yeah.
something else. I've been
Well,
having some good days and some bad days mixed in there. So it's and I know a lot of it is it's just it's like you said every 4 years. If life's already kind of just being life, and then all of that shit gets on there, and just like you can't hide from it, you can't get away
yeah,
from it. It's just that fucking, it's just constant spew everywhere you go, and like
yeah.
it's
Well,
just it's just a shitty time for everybody. So I hate that part. But yeah, sports wise, man, I'm loving what's going on. I'm not. I don't think I'm mentally prepared for summer to end over here, but in the same way, I am. Like
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready for him to get back to school.
yeah,
But I also, and it's weird because I also want it to slow down because like it's one of those pinch me situations because
yeah.
I still feel like we were moving in this house and getting Braden ready for his freshman year, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And here we are. We got a junior and a sophomore already, and and now I'm about to embark on teaching one to drive. That's holy Christ in heaven is gonna. I don't know what I have left in life, but it's gonna test me in it for the.
Man,
Katie will be the one
I'm
that
sitting here thinking I'm 2 years away from having a freshman in high school.
it's nuts, man. And like
Crazy.
when
But
people say it goes fast, I didn't realize it went as fast as it does, and it's crazy.
I gotta give a shout out to you, my friend.
Oh,
Yeah. I didn't realize that
oh,
there was some advice about this lovely hat.
yeah, it's a good looking cap, isn't it?
Oh, Chief Wahoo.
Yeah,
And people probably looking and see my fingernails painted. Yes, girl dad.
girl,
That
dad.
happens. Girl dad, you understand. But my understanding is you kind of helped with a little bit of advice on this particular hat.
I may have
And
assisted.
I assisted on it, and I appreciate the assist. That was probably one of the least expected Father's Day gifts that I received.
Good,
And the fact that when I wore it to dinner for Father's Day, I had someone in the restaurant say that is a pretty sweet looking Chief Wahoo hat.
excellent,
So,
good.
you know, people who understand what that is, just
Yep.
like what you're wearing, the classic hats that
Oh yeah,
you wish. I never wish they got rid of Chief Wahoo. I wish the Montreal Expos was still had a team.
me too. Me too.
But man, I got some good ones here, good ones coming.
Yeah,
Uh back on grinding on the hat game a little bit.
I haven't got
Uh
one in a while, but I need to get back to it. I missed one
yeah,
last week that pissed me off.
yeah. So, I always get the hey, it's fit, 20% off today or you buy this or here's our sale or our new drops and I go, God dang it.
Yep, you're like,
There was
damn it.
one I missed out on because I was in St. Louis
Yeah.
and my size sold out pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was a New York Giants with side patch that had to do with Willie Mays,
Oh, nice.
and I missed out on that one. So I'm hoping that maybe I can find another one, but who knows?
Right.
I missed another one. Uh, they said they may re-release this one, so I'm gonna keep that one on the wraps. If I get it,
Yeah.
I think you'll really like that one.
What's got
So
me lately, what I've seen a couple I liked, but a man of a few passions. Right now, I've started to convert some of my baseball card collection to vintage.
yeah,
I'm kind of going more old school,
yeah,
and with that, it's is a lot more expensive. I feel like in ways it's not at the same time, but the stuff now is insane. But like some of the old vintage stuff, like
yeah,
there's not near as many players, so everyone wants the same stuff,
yeah,
and you just have to decide how you like it. Well, the good thing with me is I like it as beat up and rough as I can get it because I think it
yeah,
just adds to it. So like I don't want creases in their faces and shit, but like I've picked up some Hank Aaron stuff. I've been hunting down some Mays stuff, just trying to get some of that old school stuff. So it's kind of
yeah.
it and hats. I have to like every other couple weeks I have to decide between one or the other. So, but
Well,
with football coming up, I find solace in knowing that when we get into football hats, I'm pretty sure this morning, like what I said when I was going through and grabbed this hat, I think I went through about 9 different Chiefs hats to get to this hat, and
yeah,
that was just Chiefs hats. We ain't even gotten the Lions hat yet.
yeah.
I don't have a fucking clue how many.
Well, I need to start picking up because I'm starting to see some more old NFL logo
My
hats.
favorite Lions hat when I busted out
Eh,
is an old logo
And
hat.
so and they'll start to come out more and more. And I should have picked them up one because, of course, they all go on sale. And
Mm-hmm.
I should have picked them up, but I was finding other hats that I liked a little more. But man, I tell you what, I hope this world changes. I hope things change, man. And like other than that, man, we'll have this crazy world we're living in just hopefully turns the corner in the right direction.
God, we can only hope so.
So, but with that, man, I'm out.
All right, later, buddy.
Yep.